Hey, it's Raven Tactical here. It's Gaddafi book review. We usually try to do two a week, and this is the second one, and it's going to be from Matthew Bracken. He's I believe he's a Navy SEAL. He's avid military, avid writer on blogs. You can check him out. Excuse me. He's a little bit everywhere. Very patriotic movement kind of stuff. Very smart when it comes to like prepper information, like survivalist information. He posts a lot of like current events and how things are shaping. What got me onto him was he wrote a series of books, and the first book in the series is Enemies of Foreign and Domestic. Yeah, and that book, I put the link in the title, and that book was very, very good. And I don't mean to sound stupidly like very, very good, but the book was amazing in the sense that it wasn't like a prepper book. It wasn't a survivalist book. It was a book based on kind of like if you were to take current events now, and you place the characters in it, these current events are happening and it happens around the characters and how it directly involves. So it's kind of more of a realistic dystopian world before it starts out kind of in a current events, and then it kind of slowly shows how America gets to a dystopian environment throughout the next two books. The first book takes place in a concept. When I read it, and then a couple events happened about a couple months later, the Vegas shooting happened. So in the beginning of the first book, you had a veteran of, I think, the Gulf War who was kidnapped out of a VA hospital, drugged up. The guy was kind of messed in the head from all the drugs. And he wakes up to find himself with a rifle strapped to him, and he's on scaffolding, and a helicopter shows up and shoots him. Well, what had happened was a Super Bowl game was going on, right? So Super Bowl, big event, everybody's playing, the football stadium's going on, and someone starts lobbing rounds into the stadium and starts killing people. So it starts picking people off, lobbing rounds into it. So someone thinks it's a sniper, it's an active shooter setting. People panic, people trample each other, they fall in, they're killing each other. And I can't remember how many people were killed in the book, but that right there, when they find, the veteran who was framed for it, they start doing a ban on semi-autos. So then you have the semi-auto ban. So it goes into effect. And then there was a date that goes into effect. So everybody, all these gun dealers and whatnot, are just selling out all their inventory, and people are prepping, essentially. They're stockpiling it and trying to hide it before everything goes bad. Well, what it is an ATF. It's kind of like if you combine what happened at Waco and all this stuff, where the ATF is corrupt and the FBI was corrupt, and they are basically they set everything up and they're trying to be involved in it, and they are the ones who are kind of shifting the politics by staging these false flag things. And it wasn't that it was false, but they're setting people up. And what it is that the government starts taking more control. So then they had the semi-auto ban. And then it kind of circles around a bunch of the characters in the book. I don't want to ruin it because you should read it. And it just shows how corrupt all the power is when you have these agencies who don't really have any checks and balance on them. So it was a wild book. And when I read the first one, and I'm like, oh wow, this was really cool, and it's interesting. Like I don't know how to describe it without ruining it and giving the plot away. But the biggest thing for me was how accurate it was to real life, and then how people responded. So this whole fight, the book I referenced before was fighting tyrannical government, resistance to tyranny, right? Well, they kind of did that. Some of the characters in the book, were able to strike back, and they were able to get some things and get some revenge. And essentially that's what happened throughout the book. And I would encourage you to read it. It's very good, well written. And, it's got action, it's got, a bunch of cool information on, if you like gun battles, it's got that in there, spycraft. And then if you're into the conspiracy thing, it's got quite a bit of that involved there too. But what was most interesting to me was going to work one day and having the news on, and it was a Monday morning, and all of a sudden the news is just filled, and I go to work at 4 in the morning, right? So the news is just filled talking about this shooting, and I'm like, oh, okay, whatever, turn it up, and it was a shooting from a Vegas tower, hotel in Vegas, shooting into a music festival. I'm like, whoa, this is right out of the book. I mean, this truly is right out of the book. I mean, this is crazy. Like, you're talking like someone read this book and used it. And it kind of opened my eyes, because that kind of instantly I looked at that Vegas shooting and I'm like, man, this doesn't add up very well. Anyways, check out this book. I'm sorry I kind of really didn't get the greatest description of it, but I feel like if I give any information on it, it's giving the plot away. The 2 series other books involves kind of, the second book involves more of the Southwest, and how the Southwest during this time frame basically is taken over by Mexico, and the Mexican population, illegal immigrants, replace or kick out all the white people, or they kick out all the Americans, and they take over the Southwest. They reclaim it, I guess, if you want to call it that. And that's what the second book deals with. The third book kind of rounds out the whole thing, and the America at that point is in really bad shape. They have a Madrid earthquake where the Mississippi basically splits everything in half. Everything's damaged, and they're fighting. They're kind of trying to round everything up in 3 books, and it develops with how the military eventually gets control, and how the military kind of tries to handle some of this shady government dealings. At least try the first book, check it out. It's very good. I don't think they cost too much. I've had them on Audibles. I've listened to the first one a couple times, the second one a few times. The third one actually is pretty good, because it does mention how like they had to combat drones and use suppressors and stuff. Very, very cool. But go check it out, and then if you actually can find it, Matthew Bracken's got quite a bit of stuff on blogs, and he's quite really popular in the Patriot movement and stuff. So go check him out. Anyways, thank you.